members on the dais, from left to right, Dr. Shah, Dr. Jeros Weigel, Dr. Samui, Mr. P. Satish, and Mr. Parthasarthi, and my dear friends in the audience, on behalf of the Watershed Organization Trust, WATER, the Swiss Development Corporation, SDC, and the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, NABARD, I would like to welcome you to this workshop on practical climate change actions in semi-arid areas. Thank you on behalf of all of us for making it possible to attend this workshop, despite your commitments and ongoing engagements. Climate change, a topic that has become quite a bit in the news as well as a source of much controversy, is indeed going to prove not only a major driver of change in the coming century and the centuries to follow, but also could well be described as a paradigm and game changer. As a result of this, nothing is going to be as it was. Business as usual will well be a thing of the past. One must recall that it was the significant scientific, technological and organizational breakthroughs in the 17th century that laid the foundations of the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th century. And we're all aware of how major a paradigm and game changer those significant changes were. Not only did it lead to a massive worldwide reorganization of relationships, both within nations and between nations, the consequences of those changes are still reverberating even in our times, determining the nature of relationships between societies, countries, and nations. It is not for nothing that we have divisions and categories as developed nations, developing nations, and least developed nations. All these social, political categorization and economic categorization are largely the result of changes that took place as early or as late as 2 centuries ago, which are still determining the course and destiny of billions of people. Our contention is that climate change is providing as big a catalyst and a change of paradigms as the early changes that brought about the Industrial Revolution. We can be forgiven for indulging the belief, or perhaps the illusion, in these lovely surroundings and in this salubrious climate, to believe that climate change is way down the road, perhaps not to be witnessed significantly in our lifetimes. Nothing could be further from the truth. Climate change is upon us. It's already being experienced, not only at the mega level, but even at the countryside within India. And it is here to stay and to determine, or at least dictate, what we are going to do about it. Those nations, those societies, those institutions which are able to manage the transition effectively and efficiently from a carbon-based economy to a carbon-neutral or greatly reduced and renewable energy-based economy, these nations are going to set the terms of reference, the terms of engagement, and the parameters of dialogue and interaction for the generations and centuries ahead. It is these nations and these societies which will determine not only the quality of life and welfare envelopes of their citizens, but also how people all over the world will live their lives and shape their destinies. If Copenhagen 15 is any indicator, and if the controversies attendant Kyoto is any indicator, it only underscores how high the stakes involved are. It is no more an issue for scientific circles and socially concerned citizens. It's also a matter of national priority, national security, and national development. That is why this issue is facing so many challenges, so many roadblocks, and so many controversies worldwide. Those nations that are able to adapt intelligently and in a definitive way to climate change will tomorrow dictate who accesses what resources and what quality of life their citizens and people are going to enjoy. And this is no small matter. It will not only have consequences at the international level or even at the national level, but its impacts will reach down to the poorest family living in the remotest village and the last hamlet in our country. That is how high and significant the stakes are. And that is the reason we are here today. Ladies and gentlemen, the format we have chosen for this workshop is rather unusual. It's rather unorthodox. Normally, we attend conferences which are replete with speeches and presentations, and needed so. This time, we have chosen a format which is a view from below. We have invited village people into whose homes we unfortunately cannot always go. We have invited them into this conference room. They will share with us what they are concretely experiencing in their everyday lives. For them, climate change is not an occasional or a notional event. It's a lived experience in their daily lives. They're going to tell you, share with us what they're experiencing, what they're facing. And they're going to invite us to engage with them in securing their well-being. That is really the objective of this conference. That is why we are all here together. Together, we represent among the finest minds, the finest people, and the finest institutions in our country engaged in this whole mission of climate change adaptation. All these people of our country, particularly those with no voice, yet most vulnerable, are counting on us to help them not only secure a better future for their children and ensure their present, but also help our country secure its interests among the community of nations. All our deliberations here will be fed in as proceedings into the national policy dialogue and policy formulation process through a variety of events. And so, let us not underestimate what we possibly can contribute to these epoch-changing events that are ahead of us. I would like to thank you for making it possible to come here, despite your engagement and commitments. And with this, I would like to declare this workshop open and invite Dr. Charles Weigel, Deputy Country Director of the STC, to kindly introduce this conference to us. Thank you very much.